Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. Rowpaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Joining BJ Rains today is KTVB Sports Director Jay Tust. Check him out on Twitter at KTVB Sports Guy and make sure to check out KTVB.com. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now here's Jay Tust and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Welcome on in, Bronco Nation News Live. Here, special edition, BroncoNationNews.com. We are in San Diego, getting you set for the Boise State-San Diego State game tonight. Get your comments in, get your questions in. Jay Tust going to join us momentarily, and we will be ready to rock and roll here on a live edition of Bronco Nation News Live. We are in San Diego, as I said. Game day edition, kind of a unique thing here with a Friday game, so we're getting you set for tonight's game, Boise State and San Diego State. We want your score predictions. We want your comments. We want your questions. Are you nervous? How you feeling? It's game day. Big game tonight for Boise State. So obviously, if you're ready to go tonight, we'd love to hear from you. So get your comments, your questions, get all that good stuff in there, and we will get to those here throughout the course of the show. But obviously, a big one tonight for Boise State, trying to avoid a 1-3 start with a road trip to Memphis coming up next week. So a lot on the line for Boise State tonight, and certainly starting conference play is a big part of that as well. You don't want to start 0-1. Boise State has not started 0-1 in conference play since 1999. So a lot on the line for Boise State in this one tonight. And as I said, just the season, how this season goes could kind of turn in the next couple of games here. You're 1-2. I know fans aren't extremely happy with how things have gone, but if you're able to find a way to win these next couple of games and get back on track, I think it really could change the outlook for the rest of the season. You got the game tonight, you got at Memphis, then I'm going to throw the next two games in there as well. I mean, that's a huge 2-game stretch to get you back to 3-2, but then you got San Jose at home and at Colorado State. Those are two games that I think are going to be key games in terms of this Mountain West race. So if you can win these next 4 games, get to the bye week at what would that be, 4-2, I guess it would be, or 5-2, I guess. All of a sudden, that would certainly put you in a much better position moving forward. So nice, important 4-game stretch here. And again, we'll welcome in our man Jay Tust, sports director at KTVB, as Jay joins us here. And Jay, we're dealing with hotel Wi-Fi. Both of us are, so we'll make this work the best we can here. But appreciate it, man. How's it going this morning?
It's going good. How are you, dude?
Doing good. Had a trip yesterday to SeaWorld with the family, so they got to enjoy some rides and things. We got a little braver as the day went on, doing some of the little more advanced rides and coasters and things. But it was a fun day down there at SeaWorld for sure, and we'll be spending some time out at the beach a little bit today, but I got some work to do, obviously, to get ready for the game tonight. I know KTVB, you guys will have a 90-minute pregame show starting at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, I believe, back in Boise, so we'll be watching KTVB for that. Looking forward to 90-minute pregame. We'll have a pregame show as well later tonight, I believe, similar time, but we'll try to start and be done before most of your pregame show gets rolling. We'll kind of lead in, help build the audience, and tell folks to flip over and watch KTVB when we're done. We'll see if we can help you out there, because I know you
appreciate that.
I know you need the help on the viewership there, so we'll do what we can.
Hey, we'll take whatever we can get.
But we got a lot of Banty folks already in the chat, kind of going back and forth. Vlad, our buddy Vlad here, when I logged in, already had about a six comment soliloquy, I guess we could call it here on the he's talking about the realignment, then he goes into the youth movement, a lot of different topics here. Vlad, we appreciate you for jumping in. Bronco Ray says not wasting time. Taylen Green overrated in the summer, great kid but average QB. I mean, he hasn't played great. Let's not kid ourselves. I'm not ready to give up on him yet. There's people thinking Maddox Madsen should get a little more playing time. Again, not quite ready to go there yet, but I don't think anybody that says Taylen Green has been has underperformed, that you could say that they're crazy to this point. To this point, Taylen Green has not lived up to the expectations of 3 games. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But with that said, I still think there's obviously 75+% of the season left for him to turn it around.
Yeah, it's if fans want to be critical in those regards, I think that it's warranted to some degree for sure. He's 9th out of 10 qualified QBs in the Mountain West Conference and quarterback efficiency rating at 110.7 yards per game through the air. He ranks 6th in the Mountain West Conference. So, I think the expectations, fair or not this year, were for Taylen to be a guy that, would put himself in the conversation to maybe be Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Year. And he hasn't gotten off to that type of start, obviously. So, we'll see if he can start to turn it around. He has, faced some pretty good teams so far, but it won't really get any easier. I mean, San Diego State's always been known for having a stout defense, and it won't necessarily get easier today here in San Diego.
Boise says, give him time. Things will start to click.
I mean, I think sometimes I mentioned this on the air the other night, BJ. Sometimes I do think we forget he is only a sophomore. Like, he did get a lot of playing time last year, but there was undoubtedly going to be some growing pains and a need for patience as he continues to develop as a passer. Right. I mean, I do think, like, you and I are baseball guys, and one of my favorite stories about getting inside of a player's head. I heard Ryan Sandberg back in the day, whenever a guy would be on a heater, right? So let's say you smoke a double off the wall, BJ, which is a completely unrealistic scenario, but we're going to go with it for right here.
Okay.
And the guy would stroll.
Because mine would usually go over the wall.
The guy would stroll into second base, right? And so Ryan Sandberg would walk up to him and be like, man, I noticed you are swinging the stick lately. Like, are you holding your hands like a little higher? I feel like you've tweaked your swing a little bit. He was trying to compliment the guy, but also get inside of his head just a little bit. So the next time he's at bat, the guy's thinking, like, am I holding my hands a little bit higher? Taylen's going through so much coaching right now and growth and development that, man, I hope on game day he can just go out there and cut it freaking loose. And, just hopefully that training that he pours in throughout the week becomes instinctual on game day. It is a developmental process. And I do think that he still has a very, very bright future, despite the fact it has been a couple of rough games. But we did see a positive step forward last week, BJ. We got to continue to see another one this week here in San Diego. Yeah,
I thought there were some steps forward. I mean, he also got extremely lucky that 2 passes were not picked off. One would have been taken back for a pick 6. The other stopped the Boise State touchdown. Literally on the goal line, he threw it right to the guy on the other team. I know he's dealing with some physical stuff too. He's battling through, but I mean, but I thought he did make some better decisions, had a couple nice runs in that game as well. Let's not forget, last time these two teams played last year, Boise State did rush for 316 yards in this game. I'll be honest, I'm not that worried about San Diego State putting up points tonight. I mean, they're just not a great offensive team. Yeah. Mike Prater, I think he used the word that the San Diego State and Brady Hoke are disrespectful to the quarterback position just because they have such a – he just says they're such a good team. I mean, think how many times San Diego State, and I think we even brought up Wyoming, but in particular San Diego State, think how many times they were a good quarterback away from being like a legit, really good team. They always have good defenses. They have good running games. They just never – he says they seem to recruit, 21 starters or whatever and forget about like, oh, we'll just find a quarterback. And there really is something to that. They just have not had great quarterbacks over the years, and it really has held them back. And the way he said it I thought was funny, but it is kind of true. Like, it just seems like they've had really solid teams, but you've never had a quarterback, or at least I don't remember many quarterbacks in the last 10 years that really scared you from San Diego State. And no disrespect to the group they have there now, but it does seem like it's another typical San Diego State: play defense, run the football, try to win some low-scoring games.
In an era, too, of the transfer portal, it kind of shocks you, right? I mean, I have no clue what Spencer Sanders from Oklahoma State was looking for when he went into the transfer portal. But, I flew down here with your guy, Jordan K, yesterday, and we were talking on the plane. And for some reason, Ole Miss kind of came up because they have Jackson Dart there. And Spencer Sanders, who's a 4-year starter at Oklahoma State, transferred to be a backup at Ole Miss. And, like, if San Diego State ever hit on a guy like that, like, you feel like they would have a really, really good team, an experienced quarterback coming out of the portal that could really complement the rest of their really good team. And
it's San Diego. It's San Diego. I said it to Prater, like, it should be one of the easiest places for them in the transfer portal era. San Diego State should be cleaning house.
Yeah. Actually, now I remember why. Is because, the guy they have playing quarterback there now, he did spend like a little bit of time at Mississippi State, I believe. And then he came here as a quarterback, moved to safety, and then moved back to quarterback. So yeah, it's just a weird flow to that. I don't know of what quarterback in the country has experienced a route like that. I mean, imagine asking Taylen Green, throughout his course to go play safety, and then we're gonna come back and play football, come back and play quarterback. It's that's a heck of a journey for a kid.
We got 71 folks right now. This number's still climbing watching this live. We got a ways to go, apparently, though, because Jay and SWR are already knocking on 300 views for their Game Week Sports Bar episode. So we're going to do our best to try to top that if we can. Tell your friends and watch our video here. But that's a great one to go watch as well. Love SWR's insight that he brings to the table to what you guys have going on over there at KTVB. But I don't say that disrespectfully to San Diego State. There some games you go in thinking, oh, man, like Washington, you're going to have to score 40-plus points to win this game. You look at the numbers. You look at the games. I mean, I've watched at least 2 full San Diego State games this year already. The Ohio game, they didn't scare me at all. And you just kind of watch these games. And I know they've played 2 Pac-12 teams in a row. I get it. Those are going to skew the numbers a little bit. But overall, the numbers are just not great when you look at San Diego State. I think they're 11th in the Mountain West, 114th in the country in scoring, only 18.8 points per game. Their passing offense ranks 112th in the country. Their rushing offense, which is supposed to be kind of where they make their hay, is only 76th in the country. So, again, I know it's been early in the season. Numbers can be manipulated, maybe aren't a true test, and they've played 2 Pac-12 teams. By the way, they'll be the first team in the country that will have already played 4 home games after the game tonight because they had the week 0 home game as well. So 4 home games in the first 5 weeks. They're going to be 5 games into the season here already. But I'd say that for 2-part. 1, San Diego State's offense doesn't really scare me. And 2, I think Boise State's defense still has a lot more in the tank that I think they're eager to show, Jay, that they're still getting better.
Yeah, I think that they, there's a learning process to every team in every season, BJ. And I do think that they're starting to figure out the pieces that they have a little bit. I mean, like, one thing that I would point out, over the years, they've changed the title of the edge and the stud position so many times that it's almost hard to figure out what is what now or why they've done it. But, what was the stud position was a guy like Curtis Weaver, who he rushed the quarterback a lot, but, he would drop into coverage. He stood up a lot. And now if you look at, the guys that are playing the stud position, the ends position, they're playing with their hand down quite a bit these days. And so they're not really asking them to drop into coverage. I'm going to continue to talk about him. And I think that's a guy like Andrew Simpson that you're seeing now used as kind of that chess piece. I mean, he's a linebacker, so obviously he drops into coverage, but he's a guy that they're using as a pass rusher quite a bit more. And the way that he can bend and things like that, like he is crafty, and he's only a sophomore, and I just can't wait to see, how he grows in that role. But again, it's just a part, like I think they're starting to figure out what they have, how to utilize the talent in game that they have. And who knows, there might be a young kid that gets a lot of playing time today too, BJ.
We'll keep that discussion going, but first, a quick word from some of our great sponsors. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of premix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. Were you talking about Ty Benefield as a young guy maybe getting some playing time this week?
He got more last week. Played 25 snaps, the most he's ever played during his time at Boise State. And so it's not only special team snaps, but now you're seeing his defensive snaps start to uptick a little bit. And I just think that they love the potential of Ty Benefield and what he brings to the table. Again, he is going to be a guy that a couple years from now is going to be in the conversation of going to the NFL. He's just a really talented kid that has proven he can handle a lot. He's proven he can handle a lot. He understands the process. I think the thing that stood out to me the most this week is Spencer Danielson talking about Ty Benefield when he was like, he is a kid, you tell him once and it clicks. He goes out and he is able to apply it immediately. And so when you're young and you can do that and you can process information and not only process it, but go out and execute it that quickly, you're going to put yourself in a unique position to be an early contributor. And that's exactly what Ty Benefield has done.
Joe says somebody has to get BG on a roller coaster someday. I saw Joe Rogalski, his lovely wife, at SeaWorld yesterday. Actually saw him about 20 times because SeaWorld was as empty as I've ever seen it. So it was like you could do a ride, and literally if nobody was in line, they would just let you stay on and do the ride again. I mean, it was the boys had a field day, but we ran into Joe probably 5 or 6 times. We enjoyed it. Sat next to him at one of the shows. But that's not true. I rode Manta, which is one of the basic kind of very basic roller coaster. You know how it is, Jay, now that you got kids. Like I really wanted to do the scariest, worst roller coaster. I really did, but one of my kids wasn't tall enough, and I just decided, I'm just going to hang back on this one. But no, in all reality, in all reality, no, I wanted no part. My wife was up there doing all those scary ones where you flip over and all that.
Honey, I'll watch the young kid. You go. You go. Yep.
That was we did the basic coaster. I did do the basic roller coaster called Manta, but I'm not doing the ones where you're spinning and going upside down and doing all that kind of stuff. I'm with
you on that, man. I don't do that either.
I don't know if BNN's insurance is good enough yet to be able to keep the business alive after some of those, but we had fun. The boys got a little braver, as I said. The day went on. We did this kind of like hybrid log flume hybrid roller coaster ride called Battle for Atlantis or something, and then we did a couple other ones. It was a fun day. Got to see the shows and everything. Highly recommend a little weekend in San Diego. You got the zoo. We may stick around and do that tomorrow. A lot of great stuff. Going to try to get the beach in today, Jay, but it's not looking sunny right now. But you were over at Snapdragon Stadium yesterday. I saw that you made a quick tour over there. Yes, I was reading some tweets and things from the guy that's in charge of the stadium over there. I guess they've had a lot of soccer, a lot of concerts, a lot of stuff, and they have not been able to, I guess, for football games, paint the end zones, treat it with the what it deserves. But I guess tonight they are going to have a red out in the stands, which I did look. Most of the seats are not red, so we'll see how that goes because the attendance somebody had asked about is not looking great. The cheapest ticket, if you go to like their actual website, is like over $100. Like I was talking to Mark Ziegler, does an outstanding job for the San Diego Union Tribune covering the basketball team, but does some football as well. And they kind of overpriced it. It's a new stadium. They charge, for PSLs. They locked in the ticket prices for 3 years. They really thought they were going to the Pac-12, thought there'd be more interest in a lot of these games than there was. And now they've kind of backed themselves into a corner. They did lose almost 5,000 season ticket holders from year 1 to year 2, and they can't lower the prices for the single game tickets because all these season ticket holders already paid, these prices. So I mean, it's literally that. I mean, there are seats for $200+. I mean, boys, the nicest ticket in Boise State Stadium is like $125 for a game, and we complain or say stuff about their attendance sometimes. I mean, the cheapest ticket is like literally $102 or something for this game, and so full transparency. Like I said, my wife and kids are here. I haven't bought the tickets yet. I'm just going to wait on StubHub or something and get them for a fraction of the price, an hour before kickoff or whatever. But I mean, they've backed themselves into a corner. They have not had great crowds. Even the UCLA game, I believe, had 7 or 8,000 open seats. So, but it's a brand new stadium. I mean, what you were over there, you saw it. Fill us in.
By the way, just to highlight that really quick, to go from 16,000 season tickets to 11,000 season tickets. I mean, that's a massive drop. I mean, that would be alarming. I don't know what I would do if I was the athletic director, but I would find a way.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do, but God, you got to find a way to lower ticket prices because they're just insane. And actually, I ran into a couple, well, more than a couple, but I had a nice talk with an older gentleman coming down here that travels to, a lot of Boise State games. And he was saying that they always loved the San Diego State trip because they would come down here and they'd play in Qualcomm Park. And I kind of laughed at him. I was like, oh, yeah, really? I was like, who liked that thing? He's like, no, tickets were really affordable. And that's what we cared about. It's just, the affordability of it. And he was telling me they still came down to San Diego this year because they like it. But they paid over $200 a ticket. And I initially said, I was like, wow, for you and your wife, you paid $200? Yeah, peace. I was like, what? So, yeah, it's costing them $400 for 2 tickets to come to this game today. And they're sitting in normal seats. It's not like a luxury box or anything like that. They're sitting in pretty normal seats. So that's kind of mind-blowing. I'm not going to lie, especially when it is Boise State. Imagine, I don't know who they got in the Mountain West coming to town, but imagine when Wyoming or New Mexico or, some one of the bottom tier teams comes here. They're going to have I don't know, probably 10,000 people in the stands at a brand new stadium. The stadium itself, BJ, have you been by it yet? Have you driven by it yet?
I saw it when they were building it. I obviously came for basketball last year, and I've seen it a couple times, but I have not actually been close enough to get a real gauge from with my eyes. No,
I mean, just aesthetically, the outside of it, I'd probably give it a 5. I mean, I thought that I would come here and kind of be blown away by it, and that it would exceed what they have in Fort Collins, their new stadium. Man, yeah. I think the Rams' new-ish home, which is now a few years old, is definitely prettier than the one they built here. Not trying to knock it because Boise State would love something like this. The concourse, there's definitely more convenient accommodations and things like that. And you can see the seats are angled towards the field. And, there are really nice things like that. But just aesthetically, the outside look of it, it's not like you'd be like, wow, look at that place. That looks awesome. It seems pretty average from the outside. The natural grass surface, it is short. I mean, it's probably shorter than Boise State's turf at home. This place will play very, very fast for a grass field today.
Yeah. By the way, let's see if I can share the screen here, Jay. Here is what it looks like to buy a ticket. Oh, I got to get this thing off the screen here. Hold on a second here. Mm-hmm. Doing this on the fly, and I screwed this up. But okay, so we'll scroll down a little bit here and see just to show folks what I'm talking about. But if you click right here, this is section 328. The upper deck at the 50-yard line is $200+. The cheapest ticket is $200 for tonight's game. Let's go to the other side. $200. Here's $110 to sit way up in the upper deck, and $210. $83 gets you way over here in the upper deck of $212. I don't know if the price is coming up on what you're seeing. Hopefully it is here.
It is $83. We can see
there's $110 over there, 110 there. But again, upper deck, we're talking $200+, and there's the openings, by the way. So not expecting a full house tonight, Jay. There's your upper deck. Those are open seats.
I can't imagine dropping $200.
$100. There you go. The last row of the stadium there in the corner. Last row of the stadium in the end zone is $110 plus fees tonight.
I guess the only thing that I will give them, BJ, is that it does feel like a pretty quaint venue, and I mean that in a complimentary fashion, in the sense If you're in
My
the
gosh.
building, I don't think that there's a bad seat in the building, even though it is in the last row. Like, you will have a good view because it's only a 35,000 seat stadium and it's pretty close to the field too. So, I mean, I know that's similar in capacity to Albertson Stadium, but it does feel like you are a little closer to the action than maybe at Albertson Stadium.
Oh, you want to sit in the end zone? That's wide open too.
But I can't imagine how. You want to come pay $200 a ticket to watch a team post 250 yards of offense in San Diego State? Like,
this is,
you need a show. You need a team that's going to lose or win or whatever. I don't know, 50-48 and put up 600 yards of offense in order to be as entertaining as that. Look at that whole section there to the left. I mean, the whole thing is almost available. Wow.
This is the upper deck as we go around here.
And so, BJ, if you go back to those gray seats, I mean, those probably
I don't think those probably aren't even being sold yet.
Yeah,
or maybe those were season tickets that were blocked off. I don't know. But this is the lower level now, right by the field here.
It's going to be very interesting to see how many fans they get today. And another thing about this, I know that with so many guys from California and in the San Diego area specifically, Boise State players, they're allowed to, kind of use their ticket allotments and trade. Like when Jalen Clark went back up to Seattle, he's from the Tacoma area, and there's not a lot of guys on the team from that area. So I'm assuming he was able to get a lot of, the other guys to give him their family tickets.
Yeah.
In this case, there's just not a lot to go around, considering, over 35% of the roster is from California and 10 or so are from the San Diego area. And if they can't get tickets, and that means family members are paying a very steep price to come watch their boys play San Diego State today.
Well, they also included some of the that's funny because that was the actual like San Diego State website to click on the tickets, like Ticketmaster or whatever. But they had the resale ones. If you noticed on the right, they were actually selling some for as cheap as $45, but that was through like a secondary person reselling their tickets, not through the university. So we'll have to see. That does not. I don't think there won't be as many Boise State fans as San Diego State fans, but you mentioned all those family and friends coming down. There's going to be a nice cheering section. Yeah. Like I said, my family's here. I know some other folks. We saw Joe and a lot of other folks that are here as well. My mother-in-law is here. I mean, it's there's going to be some Boise State fans here, no doubt. John says, let us know post-game what a beer costs at Snapdragon. Quiet some of the critics of the concessions at Albertson Stadium. I don't know if I'll know the answer to that. I won't be anywhere near a beer stand tonight.
Oh, come on. Tell everybody what you do at halftime. BJ notorious for running down, shotgunning a beer, and coming back up to the press box.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, just something. Yeah, basically. Sometimes 2, 3. Depends, It depends how long the halftime is, if they have the extra 5 minutes or not. But
depends on the score. If you're cranky, you usually add another one.
We'll see. Hotel rates are twice the cost of Boise's too. Really can't imagine being able to travel to San Diego for a game. It is not the cheapest road trip probably to make, but it is one of the with the most to do and one of the coolest. I would say that if you can afford it. Yeah,
we're a little isolated in our hotel selection this weekend, but it's all.
Where you at? Where you at, Jay? You don't have to give the name of the hotel, but what part of town you in?
I don't. Honestly, I don't even freaking know.
You're in the Hotel Circle area, or are you Mission?
No, we're a little west of that.
We're in Mission Valley is the area that we're in.
Oh, I think we're pretty close then. Yeah.
All right.
Pretty close then.
Yeah, we're in the Mission Valley area, and we're kind of centrally located. You got downtown, you got the Pacific Beach area. Any live shots from the beach while you were here? I mean, you've been here a couple days now.
Down here with John Mark Crum again, and we found a nice little dock to do our live shot from at 6:00 last night. It was gorgeous.
Let's see here. San Diego's a big market. Remember how the Pack had invited them? What a joke. As I said, that was part of the problem. And I do have to real quick, just Jay, before we get out of here, I got 2 more of our major sponsors I got to tell thank you to make sure we but I do have one final thought for you before we get out of here. But Taco Bell, one of our major sponsors, TacoBellWorks.com, SON Management, they are donating and committed by 2026 at least $155,000 to the Taco Bell Men's Basketball Endowed Scholarship and to the Women's Basketball Scholarship, another $155,000. So we're talking $310,000. Remember when Boise State was like when getting $1 million gift was a bit, the first time they got one, it was a big deal. Well, Taco Bell was the second $1 million gift that Boise State secured. They're donating money to the university. They're donating money to the athletic department. Return the favor. Go support our friends at Taco Bell. And Ball Ventures, Alquist, BVA, Tommy Alquist and company. Idaho's developer is BVA. If you need a developer, if you're looking for new space, BVA is Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. Over 10 projects in the Treasure Valley, 3.9 million planned square feet of construction since the company's inception in 2018. BVA, whether it's office, retail, flex, medical, industrial space, they're located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. So again, if you need a developer and you're looking for that space, think BVA, Idaho's developer. And of course, our friends at Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out. Congrats, by the way, Jay, to both the volleyball team and the soccer team. They picked up big wins to start conference play last night. You see Paige Barsh there on the screen, the Bronco Sport that she's driving as part of an NIL deal. She had a big night last night to help the volleyball team get their win. The soccer team playing Colorado College, I believe, in their Mountain West opener were down 2-1 or 1-0. They came back and won 2-1. So again, Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com and the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Check them out. Travis Hawks and company. Jay, Travis was already bragging to me. He gets to travel on the team plane to Memphis next week as part of one of the big donors and hang out and go to the game tomorrow or next week. So jealous of Travis and company. But all your game day gear, check them out, theblueandorangestore.com. And again, free shipping, any order over $40. But if you're in the Boise area, just go to the Boise Town Square Mall there on the second floor. And again, we appreciate the Blue and Orange Store for their support. So as we wrap this thing, come here real quick. All right, Naismith's like going crazy. He wants to get in here and say something. Lean over more, bud. How you doing?
Hi.
How you feeling about the game tonight?
Good.
What's the score going to be?
I don't know.
Well, what'd you want to say?
Hi.
All right. Hi. Oh, here comes Nelly. Hold on. Or we'll keep this going, I guess. Here, say hi, Nelly.
Hi.
Did you have fun at SeaWorld?
Yeah.
What was your favorite ride?
The chair one.
Okay, the chair one. We went all the way. All right, thanks, guys. Love you. We went all the way to SeaWorld to do the ride. You can do it like the Idaho Carnival and State Fair like 20 times, where you sit in the chair and it just kind of swings, all the chairs that are suspended and it just swings around. We could have done that with John Anderson at the State Fair for $5, and we spent $100 or whatever it was to do that thing about 15 times. But whatever floats the boat, I guess.
Well, man, you doing it with going on it with JA back in Idaho. I mean, that's worth the price of admission.
Vlad says cute kids. Vlad, I've never agreed with you more. First time I've ever agreed with Vlad, I think, but we appreciate it, Vlad. Jay, final thing, and love being in for covering all the sports. We actually are by the way, the next Tyson Degenhart show episode is going to have special guests from the volleyball and soccer teams. So that'll be on the next episode of the Tyson Degenhart show. But as you were coming on, as we wrap this up, Jay, as you were coming on, I just mentioned the importance of this game and just the fact that, yes, it's conference play. Yes, they haven't lost an opener since 99. Everyone talks about Air Force, but that wasn't the first conference game in 2014. It was Colorado State in week 2. But John Mallory, wrong again. But I think that conference play is obviously the biggest deal. I saw somebody say, "Hey, if you lose to Memphis next week, like it won't feel quite as bad as long as you had this one because you're 1-0 in conference play. You obviously want to win both. If you have to pick one of the next 2 weeks to win, though, it's probably tonight. Just for a lot of reasons. But I really truly can't imagine waking up tomorrow and just think, or after post game, I guess on my post game show, on all your Twitter mentions, if Boise State, were to lose this game tonight and be 1-3, and then think about having to go to Memphis next week. I mean, this is just for a lot of reasons, Jay. This is a monumental game tonight.
Yeah, and this is always a thing that Boise State points at, right, BJ? They get off to an 0-2 start, and the narrative becomes a lot of seasons still in front of us. We can still go chase a Mountain West Conference championship, and that is our ultimate goal as a program. And to win this game means you take a big step towards that, or at least one of 8 steps that you need to take towards claiming that title. The guys know the importance of this game. They absolutely do. I mean, I know that you asked a lot of them about it this week, and every single one of them acknowledged that the level of urgency is heightened now because this is Mountain West Conference play, and they have to defend their league and back up the expectations that make them a program that I believe it was pointed out again gets $1.8 additional million in TV revenue just because they are simply Boise State. And
if you're San Diego State, you know what you're saying? Hey, we got as many championships as they do the last 8 years. Like, I get it. I get why people are. I mean, the whole like standard and all this stuff is kind of like what we're saying. Like, it really, like, on the field, it really hasn't been there the last 8 years. I mean, you got your 2 titles, and I was just following in your footsteps. You were thinking ahead. You were doing the championship stuff back in the summer or in fall camp. I remember you asking a lot of guys about all that. So I was just trying to play catch up to. Of course, Jay Tust had already covered the story, months ago. I was surprised, by the way, 13 players. I didn't think it would be that high. Maybe my math was off, but I counted 13 players from the 2019 roster still on the roster that have a ring. And so I thought it'd be less, but I mean, you're still talking 90% of the roster that does not have a Mountain West championship ring or that experience of raising up the championship trophy and all that stuff. So
there was a long time, BJ, where they had that stat that, I don't even remember what it was, but like 15 straight graduating classes have won at least 40 games and have a conference championship ring. Like, we're going to kind of get in jeopardy of sacrificing that streak here soon.
Yeah,
the conference championships if they don't figure it out. Oh, my light went out.
Your light went out.
I guess that's the cue.
That means we're done. Yep. Jay's pretty smart about that. When he's ready to get out of here, he just either texts his wife to have his kid walk in, or there's ways Jay can just has his roommate there turn off the light. He's like, oh, I gotta go. Yeah, the equipment's failing, but I appreciate it, Jay. We went over your time today, but I think you owed me one, so we'll call it good. But appreciate it, Jay. By the way, someone says Boise High 5-0. Good for them.
5-0, man. Unbelievable. I'm stoked for Mike Altieri. Mike Altieri, he should be the coach in waiting at Alabama right now. With what he's done at Boise High School, it's the best coaching job in America. I have no doubt about it, and I'm being serious, too. He's done an unbelievable job there.
What's the coverage again on KTVB coming up?
We'll hit you guys with a 90-minute pregame show starting at 7 o'clock. Your time back home in Boise, everybody. For 90 minutes, we'll lead you up to kickoff and hopefully get you set and ready to go. I think we'll do a hit on the news at 6 too. But you know the way this is, BJ. We just run around and put together content, and hopefully it entertains you all.
Yeah, and I found out that you do it without a monitor too, so makes it even more impressive. Looking forward to that. We'll be on about the same time, but folks, you can watch us on your phone, watch Jay on TV. When he goes to commercial, turn our sound up. You can go back and forth. But appreciate it, Jay. As always, we'll be watching KTVB. You guys got plenty of coverage coming up, and we'll be hitting it as well on Bronco Nation News. Again, probably around the same time. Might start a little bit earlier, like 6:30ish. Just be watching social media. Watch our YouTube channel. We'll let folks know when we're live. And I think what KTVB is doing, what we got going on, KTIK, I think Boise State fans are in pretty good hands right now with their Boise State coverage. So we'll see what we're talking about on the news at 10 and the post-game show and everything else. Big one tonight for Boise State. And enjoy the game. Enjoy the day. Have a great day. We'll talk to you guys this evening. Appreciate all of our sponsors. Appreciate all you guys for checking us out. Go follow Jay on Twitter. He needs more followers. And we will talk to you guys soon. Bronco Nation News Live. Big one tonight for Boise State. We'll have you covered. KTVB and Bronco Nation News, bronconationnews.com.